What common mistakes do people make early on in a relationship that causes issues further down the line? Not setting boundaries right up front. Once you get into a certain pattern of behavior, it's almost impossible to change it. It took me a long time to realize that I wasn't doing this. I was letting people treat me like their therapist or their student instead of insisting on a give-and-take relationship. Never use the threat of breaking up as a weapon to achieve something. Don't even joke about it. Only bring up the notion if you're willing to lose the other person. Once that possibility is out in the open, it's a bitch to get back in. Not being themselves. It is really important to be yourself, otherwise, you'll be acting your whole life whenever you're near yourself. Discuss their relationship problems with others rather than with each other. Edit. There's nothing wrong with sharing your problems or venting. Sometimes it's great to get a different perspective, but if you're looking to save the relationship, always go back to discussing things with your partner instead. If you think he or she isn't good enough for you, just end it. Doesn't ask for anyone's approval, end it mutually on a good note and wish your partner good luck. Faking orgasms. Seriously. If you start doing this early on and your partner thinks exactly what they're doing is satisfying you, how can you expect them to ever get it right? Exactly. Instead of faking it, teach them how you like it. And there's also nothing wrong with enjoying yourself but not achieving an orgasm sometimes. It's not a failure, life and the body can get in the way of them. Infatuation. I actually struggle with this, and it's a pain in the ass to manage. Basically, putting that person on a pedestal will lead to really bad things over time. It sets oneself up for manipulation, disappointment, and unhappiness. That, I believe, was a huge issue with my ex. He put me up on this pedestal that I really couldn't fulfill. He expected me to be this perfect girlfriend in his mind and had our whole lives planned out, while I was still very much in a trial period with him. It really helps to be on the same page with the other person. I'm sort of in between on this. I don't fall for just anyone, but when I do, I tend to fall quickly. Then, a little while in, I level myself out. My general strategy has been to just avoid saying too much. I don't think my girlfriend is perfect at all, but she's a great person and I love being around her. Also, while I don't seriously plan our future, it's fun to think about being with her down the road. I think we are past the trial period in our relationship, but we are very far from the have our lives planned stage. Haha. Communicate everything, early, often, always. It's the only way to know your compatibility. Lack of talking is what killed my marriage to my best friend. Plus, if you have issues, work on them. Don't just let your mess sit there unattended, go to therapy. Not getting out of the relationship when you notice a red flag really early. Lots of relationships end because of red flags you noticed on the first date. BoJack Horseman has a really nice quote on why it's easy to overlook red flags in a new or budding relationship. You know, it's funny, when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. I'm surprised this isn't higher voted already. Not keeping up friendships and relationships with people other than your significant other. You can't be solely dependent on one person to be your social and emotional support. You need to maintain friendships, interests, and activities outside of your relationship. Finding the balance might be tough, but it's crucial. You don't want to break up with someone you dated for 3 years and realize you don't have any close friends anymore because you spent the last 3 years ignoring requests to hang out and be social with them. Openly lie about their finances. If you act like you make/have more than you do, you'll either dig yourself into a hole of debt or things will fall apart when you try to move to a more serious level. Lie. Lie to themselves about their relationship. Lie to person they are in a relationship with. Lie about what they want in a relationship. Always be honest in a relationship. Always make it clear what you want, what you don't want, and what is a deal breaker. You will save yourself and the other person a lot of time. Not dealing with issues early on. The things you accept in the beginning will continue on and become harder to solve as time passes. If something your partner does doesn't sit right with you or is outright wrong, speak up. Yes, the earlier the better, though it is never too late. Communication is key in every healthy relationship. It all depends on the couple. My wife and I had sex on our first date, moved in together after dating for 3 months, then didn't get married until we were together for 9 years. The best thing you can do is be open and honest with each other, and always be yourself, so don't do the opposite of those things, I guess. If you have hobbies or interests that take time, don't set that shit aside. If you stop doing your thing for a while when you start dating, your partner gets used to that. Then when you try to get back into it, good luck. If you like to spend all weekend hiking or fishing or something, do it at the beginning of the relationship so they know that's your thing. It sucks when, a few months or years down the line, you decide to jump back into your neglected hobbies, just to have them get upset. Set the tone? I learned this the hard way. If you love me, you'd. This is just the worst kind of manipulation and may cause them to ask themselves, I won't do that, so do I love him/her? Getting clingy fast. Oh, man, my oldest teen had this. A girl he was dating broke up with him because he was grounded from his phone. I didn't give him a chance to text anyone, just had him hand it over and turned it off. She texted him over 100 times in the course of 2 hours, the last one being they were done. They had been dating a week. He, of course, didn't realize until the next day at school when he went to see her and she told him. She didn't even care what the reasoning was and just assumed he was cheating on her. I mean, really? And he was so mad at me as it was my fault he couldn't text her back. He'll learn to dodge a bullet with that one. Pacing of the relationship, especially when it's not balanced between the two. Some people rushing too fast or others moving too slowly. Usually, someone has a stubborn or high expectation of what the relationship will be like and the other person stumbles to keep the same speed. That tiny, insignificant, slightly annoying quirk about them that you don't feel justified in pointing out because everything else is perfect? Yeah, that's going to be the cause for screaming matches down the road. Point it out now and save yourself some heartache. I don't know, my parents have been happily married for over 30 years. It still annoys my dad that my mom is always 5 to 10 minutes late. It still annoys my mom that my dad likes to eat in bed and get crumbs in it. They both know it annoys the other person, and when it's really important my mom tries to come early and when she asks him he cleans up his crumbs or gets a bigger plate. They actually have had screaming matches about each of those things at some point, but it doesn't really seem to affect how much they love each other. Talk about your exes or aren't upfront about their beliefs. I couldn't tell you the false image I have had boyfriends make me believe only to find out that they are a completely different person than who they led me on to believe. Be honest with yourself and be honest with yourself. Being too controlling and probably jealousy. Without confidence, there's nothing. Oh, and now with the internet, getting annoyed by the amount of time a person takes to reply. We've all got things to do. Grow up. Reading the comments, I'm seeing a lot of behaviors that stem from fearing the relationship ending or the other person not liking you. Except that not everyone will like who you are or how you live your life, barring any relatively simple changes like bathing regularly, dressing better, or being in good shape. Don't dump all of your issues on the table on week 1, but don't go out of your way to hide things. This will help you determine whether or not you can be happy and honest with the person you have a relationship with. The I don't fart paradox has caused many women, who only wish to appear pure and wholesome in the eyes of their beloved, to inflate to the point that they involuntarily float away, never to be seen again, or in some severe cases to spontaneously combust. Get comfortable too fast and stop trying to put forth effort into looking good for their partner. I've seen too many people, men and women, totally stop putting much effort into their appearance as soon as they get in a relationship. I'm not saying it's all about looks, but never stop trying to be the best version of yourself. Making plans too far into the future. Nah, making one plan too far in the future. I have several pathways that can shift and change. I have plans, but I have backup plans, alternative plans and hypothetical plans. Further out in the future you go, the more flexible they get. Thanks for watching. Please, feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.